Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Average Dave's Movie and TV Talk. This is episode 29, and we're not hot in here this week. Last week, it was like
Not
an
yet.
oven here.
Not yet.
Today, it's actually not too bad.
It will be.
Just a fair warning about our movie TV Talk channel. We do talk spoilers. We do not talk about we do talk about politically sensitive issues.
We are not politically correct, is what is written down here. Stick to the script.
In the entertainment industry, and we speak our mind about the entertainment industry. And every so often, some bad words might come out. I'm not going to say by who, but once in a while. This is our opinion, nobody else's. And always remember, entertainment is subjective, and that's what makes talking about it fun, exciting. It can get heated, but that's the whole object of entertainment, to have fun talking about it. Don't forget, if you have any questions, please comment in the comment section or reach out to us at theaveragedavestalk@yahoo.com. And also check out and subscribe to Okemo Valley TV on YouTube or at okemavalley.tv, and also on channels 1076 and 1086 on Xfinity Comcast. I didn't have anything written down for quick topics this week, but you said you had.
So I'm watching the Pirates of the Caribbean movies because the guy at work's never seen them. And the first one came out in 2003, and I am watching it and I'm thinking, man, I miss when Disney made great stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because they used to. And like, as much as I am praying to God that they remake the original trilogy and give each one a $6 billion budget,
You said $7 billion.
Whatever.
Last week. Yeah.
Just to hasten their downfall, because nobody likes Disney anymore. Nobody's rooting for Disney.
Well, they won't.
If you go to their or if you look at their events just that they hold, it's a bunch of what looks
crap.
like
just crap.
It's just crap.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just crap and crap and crap.
I mean, have you watched the trailers for that? What is that? Ironheart?
No, God, no.
Oh my God.
I can't. I can't. And I know at some point I might have to watch it for this show, but I can't.
It just looks like
I don't get paid to be here. If you guys want, if you want me to watch Ironheart and friggin' Rings of Power,
start
give
paying.
me money.
No,
But I will.
Did you see the new Superman trailer?
Yeah, by far the best one. Actually got me a little excited because
that one looked
nothing
good.
else beforehand has made me excited. I'm still not in love with the runtime.
Yeah, like you said, it does have to. That's a short run time for a lot of stuff.
You guys want to set up a cinematic universe off of this movie. You have all kinds of characters in this movie. Yeah. Some of them that a lot of people, myself included, aren't superly familiar with.
Right.
Like, I know who Supergirl is. I don't really know too much about her. I've seen her in a couple of the animated movies. That Hawk Girl, whatever version of Green Lantern this is, because it's
Guy Gardner.
Yeah, because it's not Hal Jordan.
Yeah, that's Guy Gardner.
Guy Gardner used to be a member of the Justice League, but not as Green Lantern, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember him from the Death of Superman comic book run from,
and it looks
30
like
years
they
ago
have
now.
a version of Ultraman in it.
Mr. Fantastic, I think his name is? Or Mr. Terrific?
Terrific.
Yeah, he's got the T on his face. Like, I don't know these characters, but it also seems like there's multiple villains, too, because you got Lex and then maybe Brainiac they show in some of the promotional art.
It is. It's a short run time for a lot of stuff.
I'm hoping there's like an unrated version, but I doubt it because
I'm looking forward that last trailer.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go see it.
Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, I will always go see in the theater.
Well, me too.
But I'm still like 60-40. Like I was 50-50 whether or not this is going to be good or not. That last trailer gave me like the 60-40. Yeah. I hope it's great.
Yeah, me too.
I hope I walk out of there going, this is the new best Superman movie.
We've said this 100 times. Warner Brother better hope it's great because they got a lot riding on this.
Yeah.
So to our main topic today, this is another version of our 15 actors with a must-watch role from that specific actor. We did one, 2 episodes ago? I think it was 2 or 3 episodes ago.
But I don't even know what we did later. What did we do later? Oh, war movies.
Yeah. So this one again is our 15 actors with a must-watch role.
Now, you see, I thought that we were doing movies. I just went off of movies.
I did almost all movies, but I did do one TV show.
Well, I probably would have done a TV show from this guy too, but I didn't.
Yeah. So we're going to start off with, I'll start Is Syrian,
Kieran Hins,
Kieran
I think his name
Hines
is.
or Hins.
If you Google him, you'll see
Yeah.
what he looks like, and you'll know exactly who he is.
He's-
Great actor.
I mean, he was in Game of Thrones. He's in.
He was in that one show, The Terror, or at least the first season.
Yep.
Awesome show.
That was a good show.
Awesome show.
Yeah.
I've only seen the first season,
Yep.
but it was awesome.
But so I picked Rome, which is a HBO miniseries from 2005 to 2007 with Kevin McKidd. Ray Stevenson was in it.
Still need to watch that.
Mark Antony. It's fictionalized, but it's about pretty much Julius Caesar.
because they thought they were getting more seasons, and
Yeah.
then they were told
They never
you
they
get like one more season, and then we're giving you the axe. So they had
they
to
did
rush the fourth
a
season.
Deadwood at the end of this. They
Well,
ended
no.
it with like
No, with like Deadwood, they just stopped. They were setting up something, and then they just stopped.
well, this is how this one ended. The whole ending scene, you're kind of like,
Yeah, but at least the showrunners weren't they given warning?
yeah, they were told, but they kind of left it with, we need to come back, but they didn't. So yeah, he plays Julius Caesar, does a great job. Ray Stevenson is phenomenal in this movie. I mean, this TV series. I mean, Ray Stevenson, the late great Ray Stevenson.
That sucked.
Yeah, that was a tough one there. He was the best part of Ahsoka.
He was never a leading guy, but he was always like an amazing secondary guy.
And you want to just go back and forth?
Yeah, so for him, because I thought we were doing movies, I went with Munich, 2005, where he played
movie.
Carl. He was one of the Israeli operatives who was going out for vengeance against the terrorists that killed the Olympic athletes.
1972.
Yeah. Munich was an awesome movie.
It was very good.
Check it out. I think it won the Academy for Best Picture for that year.
Yeah, that was Eric Bana, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Eric Bana. That was a
And back then, 2005, the Academy still meant something.
But yeah, Munich, check it out. It's about the 1972 massacre of the Israeli Olympians.
Yeah, you don't screw with the Israelis.
Oh well, people are finding that out now,
Well, good.
and that's the way it should be. You mess with the country, you get your butt whooped. Our next character is technically you can call him Vermont's own because he lives in Vermont.
Yes, he is.
Louis Guzman. I went with Boogie Nights from 1997 with Mark Wahlberg, Julianne Moore, and Burt Reynolds. He plays Maurice Rodriguez. It's all about the porn industry.
I wasn't a huge fan of that movie.
Oh, see, I love that movie.
was-
And Mark Wahlberg plays Dirk Diggler.
Mocky Mock?
The name, I still when I. The
I
name
mean,
is-
yeah, that's a great character name.
I enjoyed the movie. This is all about fame and fortune in the porn industry, and then it just kind of goes bye bye.
See, I thought the movie was a little boring for the topic. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Like, I probably just saw it for the first time in the last year.
Oh, okay.
It was talked way up, and I watched it, and I was like,
Yeah, I liked it, but
like, it wasn't a bad movie. And I
another
could
one of
see
his
the
movies
appeal.
I liked was A Cowboy Way back in the day with Woody Harrelson and Kiefer Sutherland. That was a good one.
He was in that?
Yeah.
I don't know. So for him, I went with The Count of Monte Cristo, 2002.
I almost put that but I knew you were going to do that. So.
I love this friggin' movie.
It's a good movie.
I can watch this movie 2-3 times a year. It's awesome. He plays Jacopo. He's basically his like right hand man, his servant once he becomes the Count of Monte Cristo. And I mean, everybody has to know what the Count of Monte Cristo is about now, right?
When I saw the name and I was going down his movies list, I saw that. I said, Dave's going to put that.
Absolutely. I love this movie. Anyway, The Count of Monte Cristo is based on a book written by Alexander Dumas, the same guy who did The Three Musketeers, and it's about a man who gets falsely imprisoned. And then while he's in prison for, I think it's like 15 years.
Yeah,
or
like,
something.
yeah,
It's
15,
something like
20
that.
years, something like that, yeah.
He's basically befriends another inmate while they're digging an escape tunnel. And while this inmate while they're in there, he's training him how to be a swordsman. He's teaching him how to read and all this other stuff. And then at the end, he reveals to him the location of this treasure. And once he escapes prison, he becomes the Count of Monte Cristo and plots his revenge.
What year was that again?
This one was
year?
the 2002 one.
Yeah, because there's one prior to that, way back, I think.
Oh yeah, there's like a black and white one.
Yeah.
I think there's a few of them. But the only one I've ever seen is the 2002 one, and I think it's awesome. Check it out.
our next name is John Cusack. I went back all the way to 1985 for Better Off Dead with John Cusack, David Ogden Stiers, Kim Darby. Cusack plays Lane Meyer. He was a suicidal teen because his girlfriend left him for a jock. He tried numerous ways to off himself, and it ends up with a whole skiing thing on the mountain. And then there was the newspaper kid that would always chase him around. Where's my $2? My $2. It's a 80s comedy. But that's actually one of the first movies I saw with Cusack, and that's the one that actually sticks in my mind for him. You look at it, I watched it probably a year ago, and I'm like, yeah, this wasn't all that good a movie. But that's the movie I think of when I think of him.
When I think of John Cusack, I think of Con Air.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that. Oh,
1997,
that's right.
U.S. Marshal Vince Larkin.
That's right. I forgot about Con Air.
Yep. Con Air. It's a
people
Nicholas.
in that.
Yeah, it's got Steve Buscemi, John Malkovich.
Yeah.
I almost went with Being John Malkovich. Because
Isn't that right?
that's a good one, too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think of Con Air. It's the Nicolas Cage action movie back when Nicolas Cage...
With his mullet. Oh, my God.
Like, come on. It was awesome.
Nicolas Cage is one of those guys that he's got a good movie, and then he's got a real...
You still need to watch Joe.
Which one?
Joe.
Yeah, no, you've told me I got to
Awesome
watch
movie.
that. Yeah. But yeah, but John Cusack was, I forgot he was in that.
He's like the second or third main guy.
Yep. Next actor will be Colin Firth. I think of him, and there's one movie, it is still to me one of the best spy type movies ever made.
I wonder what this is going to be.
Kingsman: The Secret Service from 2014. With Taron Egerton and Samuel L. Jackson and Michael Caine. Excuse me. Colin plays Harry Hart, a secret agent with a secret agency. Think of 007, but definitely more violent. The church scene in this movie is probably one of the most violent scenes in a movie that was bad.
It's right up there with the BVS warehouse scene.
Yeah.
Except it might even be more violent just because it's just a giant free-for-all.
But I love this. I love the first Kingsman, The Secret Service.
Yeah.
He was awesome in it. The second one, I wasn't a huge fan.
Actually, I didn't mind the prequel. I thought the prequel was better than the second one.
The second one was with
I don't even remember the second one. Wasn't like Pedro Pascal?
Yeah, and I'm not a Pedro Pascal fan. He ruins things for me.
He was good in Game of Thrones. The best part of Game of Thrones is that he died relatively quickly.
Viper, got his head crushed.
But he's not that great.
No,
like he's not
overrated
bad.
actor.
Yeah, he's very overrated.
Yeah, but Kingsman: Secret Service from 2014. Check it out. You'll see if you watch it the whole church scene. There's very few scenes in movies that come close to that for just the pure violence of action in that movie.
Yeah. Taron, what's his name? Edgerton?
Yeah, he was good.
I like him a lot.
Yeah.
Like, even in, I think, the newest Robin Hood, it was him and Jamie Foxx. He wasn't that great, but I still liked him.
Yeah, I like him as an actor.
Yeah.
And then you got Samuel L. Jackson and Michael Caine. Come on. I mean, those two guys are great actors on themselves.
Michael Caine, first movie ever was Zulu. Didn't know that. So when I think of Colin Firth, I think of The King's Speech. 2010, he plays King George VI.
Yep.
If you haven't seen it, he was born with a bad speech impediment, a bad stutter, and he becomes king, has to do an address to the nation, and it's all about him and his speech coach, played by, what's his name? Joffrey...
I know. Yeah, I know who you're talking.
Is it Joffrey Rush?
I call it Jeffrey Rush. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, Jeffrey Rush. I mean, it's just a great movie. Jeffrey Rush steals the show. I think
really
this movie won the Academy for Best Picture. I think Colin Firth got Best Actor, but Joffrey Rush did not win Best Supporting Actor, and he should have because he was the reason this movie.
What year was that again?
2010.
Yeah, right when
he plays Lionel Logue, his speech coach, who was awesome.
That's when the Academy was starting to do this.
Yeah, it was starting to, but it still meant something.
Yep,
It's still a few years of relevance, and then something happened in 2016 that just broke Hollywood.
Yeah, I think it might have been earlier than that.
Maybe, but that's when I really seem to notice
Oh, yeah.
these
Yeah,
idiots.
Colin Firth, that's a good movie. Yeah.
It's a really good movie.
Yeah.
Check it out. I mean, you would think a movie about a king and his speech impediment shouldn't be that good, but
No, they did a good
it
job.
was wonderful.
They did a good. Well,
It was well cast.
It was well cast, but it's just a good story.
Yeah.
And it played out well.
A good human story.
Right. They didn't try to push anything else, and they didn't have agendas. It was just a good.
They didn't really have that shit back then.
Yeah.
Hollywood just wanted to entertain.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Yeah. I'm loving this right now because Hollywood is just shooting themselves in the foot every day. Every day they open up their mouths, they shoot themselves in the foot. Pedro Pascal right now he is shooting Fantastic Four in the mouth, in the foot, head, whatever he can right now.
Aren't they saying that Sue Storm's going to be the actual leader?
Oh yeah, yeah. Welcome to the MCU.
Yeah. Hey, whatever. I'm not going to go see it. I'll probably see it on Disney Plus.
I'll end up going seeing it because.
Well, of course you will.
Yeah, I know. I will.
Female Silvers. What a bunch of morons.
Yeah.
Hollywood is girl bossing too close to the sun.
Yeah. Yeah. Our next actor is Alan Tudyk. I went with Serenity from 2005 with Nathan Fillion. What's it? Chiwetel Ejiofor?
Chiwetel Ejiofor or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a follow-up to an awesome TV series in Firefly.
I'm watching that right now.
Firefly is
awesome.
Yeah.
Friggin'
Fantastic.
awesome. The fact that we didn't get more Firefly, I mean,
don't
the story we got was awesome, but I just could have used more of it.
I don't understand why they stopped.
I told you when I saw the movie first, and then I heard that this was like the end of a TV show. So I went out and I bought the TV show, and I watched. It's only like 12 or 13 episodes. Yeah. I waited 6 or 8 months before I finished the last episode because I just didn't want it to be over. Yeah. And then I finally watched it, and then I watched the movie, and I went back and I watched it all in order again. And
what's nice about it,
awesome.
Firefly goes right into Serenity. They play great off each other. There's none of this crap in between. Tudyk plays Wash.
I also went with Serenity. So
yeah,
I mean, he does a lot of voice actor work too.
Holy crap! I was looking his stuff up, and it is.
He was the robot in iRobot. He was the robot in Rogue One. He's done, I think, all kinds of.
Was Rogue One K2SO?
Yeah.
But I looked him up, and he is in a bunch of video game voices, animated movies.
Yeah, he does a ton of voice actor work.
I didn't realize he was that much voiceover stuff.
Yep. Yeah. Ton of it.
Yeah, a lot. But yeah, if you haven't checked out Serenity, if you're into sci-fi,
we've talked about this show before.
Yeah, if you're into sci-fi, but you haven't watched Serenity or Firefly,
watch Firefly first.
Yeah, you're missing out.
You are really missing out. It is a character-driven show.
Yeah.
The crew is awesome. They're well cast. It's well written. The way it
ended, it was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
The movie was a kind of a bummer. Some parts of it. Like,
not everyone makes it.
Yeah. No. But if you're into sci-fi, those are two must-watch. Serenity and Firefly.
And they're short. And
Firefly. I mean, Serenity's only like what? Not even 2 hours, like an hour and 50 minutes.
Yeah, it's something like that.
But it goes by fast.
I know Firefly's streaming on Hulu right now if you have it. I don't know about the movie, but I own the movie, so I'm just gonna once I'm done it on Hulu.
But watch it. It's to me an underrated,
very underrated
sci-fi TV series and a sci-fi movie.
I bet you it's a show that not a lot of people have heard of.
Yeah.
But it was, in my opinion, Joss Whedon's best work. Better than Buffy, better than Angel, better than the friggin' Avengers.
I was never a big Buffy.
Me neither.
But
I never really watched it.
Popular show.
It was super popular. That and Angel.
See, I've never watched that, so I don't have a clue what it is.
If you don't like Buffy, you're not going to watch Angel. But Buffy was very popular, and Angel was a spinoff of Buffy. Oh. So, and it ran a lot of seasons, so it had to get the viewership.
Yeah. Watch it. Do yourself a favor. Watch it. Our next actor is Thespian. We'll try to be like we're knowledgeable.
We're posh bitches.
So our next actor is Barry Pepper. I went with We Were Soldiers from 2002 with Sam Elliott, Mel Gibson, where he played Joe Galloway, a reporter. We talked about this in our war movies, but I loved him in that role where he played Joe Galloway. It's a true story on his part. He was with the 1st Battalion of the 7th Cavalry Regiment.
help write
1st
the
Cavalry.
book?
What's that?
Didn't he help write the book?
Yeah. And he actually was there when they were filming the movie to help them when it came to his scenes, what he actually saw and did. So, all that stuff that you were seeing with him he was actually there doing that. And that took place in the Ai Valley in Vietnam. There's another movie that I almost went with, actually a couple, but I just liked the story of him in this, and Barry Pepper did a really good job with that, especially when he had to become pretty much a soldier. Instead of filming, he had to shoot. Let me guess.
Is it Saving Private Ryan?
I'm thinking
1998, where he plays Jackson? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's the greatest war movie ever made. It's his best role. He was probably the most kick-ass soldier that went out with him on that mission. He was a sniper. He was awesome. It was awesome. No, I'm not gonna deny
I knew you were going to do that.
that,
I
which
knew
is
you were going to
fine.
do Saving Private Ryan.
I have
so
a couple
had
up here that I went off the boards with because I figured you would go with something else.
Yeah, but
Off the book, whatever.
yeah, when we did Barry Pepper, I'm like, I know Dave's going to go.
Of
with
course I'm
Saving
going
Private
Saving
Ryan. And
He was like my favorite guy outside of like Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, I like Sizemore's character.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought he was pretty cool before
Yeah.
Sizemore went off into whatever world he decided to go off. The late Tom Sizemore, because he died.
He died?
Oh yeah, what, 4, 5, 6 years ago?
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The thing is, we're talking more and more. We get into movies. The late.
Well, what? Clint Eastwood just turned 95 like 3 weeks ago.
They showed Clint Eastwood yesterday on one of the entertainment shows. Boy, he looks old.
Well, yeah, he's 95.
But it's like even when he did like Gran Torino and stuff, he was in his mid 80s, and he looked old. But
No, he wasn't. He was. If he's 95 now, Gran Torino was 2009. He would have been 79, I think.
right there. Gran Torino.
He's so close.
But that's one guy that we need to.
Yeah, he did look old in but he didn't look feeble.
No.
Now he looks.
Like you said, 95. Yeah.
Dude, have you looked up Dick Van Dyke lately?
He looks bad.
He's what, 99?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still love Dick Van Dyke, the Dick Van Dyke Show. With Mary Tyler Moore, I used to love that show.
I love him from the two big movies that I watched a ton of growing up was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and Mary Poppins.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is a great movie.
It is.
And Mary Poppins is a great movie.
Great movie, too.
But I don't know.
Again, Disney used to be awesome.
These younger people probably never even heard of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
That was a Disney movie, too, right?
Yeah.
I grew up on Disney, and I'm ready for them to die.
Yeah.
What I would love is, sane people to take control of the company again and just start trying to entertain people.
They showed their stocks again. Their stocks are getting clobbered, but they're not listening. They're not learning from any. They just keep putting out this crap, and their stocks are taking a hit. They're going to invest more money into their park, which is too expensive now.
We always just somehow talk about Disney
Because they
show.
suck.
Well, they're one of the biggest entertainment companies on the planet, and they're also the ones that are pushing the most stupid agendas.
You look at all these other companies.
Us.
The other companies are starting to come around and be like, yeah, we got to pull away from this crap. Disney, though, they're just hardening their stance and going for it.
Yeah, well, screw them.
Yeah. Our next actor is David Keith. I went with The Lords of Discipline from 1983, where he is a cadet at the Carolina Military Institute. His friend is a black cadet, and he's one of the first black cadets in that institute. And the racism that is going on and the harassment and everything, and he has to stand up and be either with his fellow cadets or with his friend, and he chooses to be with his friend. I just thought that was an excellent movie with David Keith.
Never even heard of him. Pretty sure you just made it up.
Yeah, I did.
Anyway.
Actually, about 10 minutes ago, I just made it up.
That's pretty good. You should actually make it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what
David
you're
Keith, Go ahead.
Officer and Gentleman.
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Well,
When I think of David Keith, I think of Jack Parkman from Major League 2.
yeah.
That's
He was such an ass.
he was such an asshole, but he was awesome.
Yeah, he was such an ass in that
Which
movie.
obviously Major League 2 being the sequel to Major League, which is one of the greatest. Major League is one of the greatest sports movies ever made. Major League 2 was fine.
Fine. What was 3? Back to the Minors or
I've
something
never
like
seen
that
it.
was
I've only ever
horrible.
seen the first 2.
Yeah,
I've heard the third
horrible.
one was terrible, and
Horrible.
I didn't even waste my time.
I mean, 1's here, 2's here, 3. It's bad. But
third-
I forgot about him.
the second one had what was his name? Like Yoshitaka Mishita or something.
Yeah.
I forget his name.
Yeah.
The like
yeah,
Japanese guy. He was hysterical.
Yeah, I forgot. He was the catcher for the Yankees, right? In that in the movie?
He
He
got
started out with the
traded.
Indians.
Yeah, he got
It is-
traded to somebody.
Yeah.
I forget.
Or
Probably
the White
Yankees.
Sox or somebody right in that division.
Somebody.
There. So, yeah, I forgot him. But I like David Keith. He's been in a lot of good stuff. He was excellent.
It was
in-
Jack Murdoch.
yeah,
Those are really the only 2 things I really know him from.
Officer and Gentleman.
I don't know if I've ever seen that.
You've never seen an Officer and Gentleman.
Believe it or not, Dave, there's a few movies out there I have yet to see.
You have to watch Officer. That was Louis Gossett Jr.'s best movie.
Yeah.
It,
No, it wasn't. Iron Eagle was.
You know what? But you know what? Iron Eagle,
Was stupid but fun.
it was stupid but fun. And then the other 2 were really
It had a
bad.
great soundtrack. It was all Queen.
Yeah, yeah. But Iron Eagle, I can watch it.
I can watch. I
sit there and roll
don't-
my eyes
I don't
and be
know if
like,
I can
"Okay."
watch any of the sequels.
Yeah.
You know what I started the other day? Firebirds.
Firebirds.
Nicolas Cage and
I've
Gene
never
Hackman.
Never seen it. Never
I'm
seen
like
it.
5 minutes in,
Yeah.
so but I'm probably gonna finish it today or tomorrow.
Never seen it. Never even heard of it.
It's they're like flying Apache helicopter, like Nicolas Cage is an Apache pilot.
And who else is in it?
Gene Hackman, I think.
No, never heard of it.
It's only like an hour and a half long,
Yeah, I never heard of
so
it.
I'm gonna finish it.
I always get David Keith and Keith David mixed up.
Yeah, well, one's black and
One's white. I know, but their names I get mixed up.
One
so.
of them was Mary's dad.
Keith David though has some good stuff. That's one we should do sometime along the way too.
Yeah, something about Mary.
Our next actor,
Is it the Frank or the Beans, son?
I already know who you're going to go with for this movie, but this is Peter Weller. I went with the Adventures of Buckaroo
Buckaroo
Banzai
Bonanza.
across the Eighth Dimension in 1984. John Lithgow, Ellen Barkin, and Jeff Goldblum, and
ridiculous
Clancy
movie.
Brown. It's Dr. Buckaroo Banzai and his Hong Kong Cavaliers. They're fighting aliens trying to conquer Earth.
It's so stupid.
It's
but
so
it's
stupid.
So fun.
But I remember that movie came out and I loved it. And that was one of the first movies I saw Peter Weller in, and that's who I think of. That movie is what I think of when I think of Peter Weller. If you've never seen The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai,
It's
you
different.
got to watch it.
It's different. I can see where a lot of people wouldn't like it, but I thought it was a ton of fun.
Yeah, you got to watch it. I mean, but when you watch it now, it's like,
Oh yeah, it is. It is severely dated, but it's still fun.
oh
Like,
yeah, no, it's a blast. And actually, I have the 10-run miniseries comics from The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai.
Care to venture a guess as to what I went with?
I'm gonna think it's this silver robot type thing that walks around with a head.
Part
of a human.
man, part machine, all cop.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Peter Weller was RoboCop in the first 2 and the best 2 RoboCop movies. 1987, he plays Alex Murphy, who becomes the titular character, RoboCop. It is
It's a great movie.
It is 1980s
Action. at its
sci-fi action at some of its best.
Yep.
It's one of the best action movies ever made. It's also it's just a great movie. It's a great sci-fi movie. It's a great action movie.
best. Yeah.
Like Peter Weller was awesome in it. It's
Here I'm gonna do a plug for our YouTube channel. It's this Dan Monroe. It's called Movies, Monsters, and Music, and he just did a thing. Whatever happened to RoboCop? And he does these like once a week, whatever happened to this, whatever.
yeah, they
happened. But he
friggin'
did
remade it.
RoboCop, and they were talking about where they were getting the ideas of the robot and of the killer robot that was after him and
The
the
209.
weapons. Yep. And he has pieces. He has the actual helmet, one of the actual helmets from the set.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you got to look it up. It's Dan Monroe's movies, music, and monsters. And his stuff that he does, they're like 45-minute long videos. And he just last week he did Return of the Jedi. It's just awesome stuff. But yeah, that was a great movie though.
So
RoboCop.
yeah, RoboCop's the best RoboCop. RoboCop 2 was excellent as well. RoboCop 3 sucked, but Peter Weller didn't come back to play RoboCop. And then there was all kinds of TV shows and like direct to.
Wasn't there a cartoon? I think a robot.
I think there was a cartoon.
Yeah.
There was definitely a comic book because I had some of the comics.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And the what was it? 2017.
15, 16, 17.
That
something
wasn't
like that.
horrible.
It wasn't horrible. It wasn't nearly as good.
No, but the first one.
Joel Kinnaman is a really good actor. That did a lot of the heavy lifting. Plus Samuel L. Jackson was in it, and oh my God, why am I?
I don't remember.
Jesus Christ. The first.
No, he wasn't in it.
No. Who played 1989 Batman?
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. Christ, that's it. My God.
But no, the first RoboCop is a great movie.
Yeah.
Our next actress is Gina Davis. I went with Thelma and Louise from 1991 with Susan Sarandon, Harvey Keitel, and a young Brad Pitt. All about Thelma and Louise go on a road trip. Thelma shoots and kills a man who tried to rape Louise. They go on the run, and it has the classic ending. When I think of Gina Davis, that's what I think of. I think she was in that other Earth Girls Are Easy. I think Jeff Goldblum was that as a comedy.
Sounds like it.
It was pretty bad.
When I think of Gina Davis, I think of Dottie Hinson from A League of Their Own.
I almost went with that.
You probably knew I was going to go with that. 1992's her, Rosie O'Donnell.
Thank God she's in Ireland.
Thank God she left.
I think they wanted her to come
Madonna.
back.
She can go to Ireland too,
Yep.
but she hasn't. And of course, Tom Hanks.
I love the whole pissing scene where he's in the men's room and just going and going and going. But yeah,
That is a low-key hysterical movie. It's got
Oh, yeah.
so many great funny scenes in it.
oh yeah. And
Like
then
you-
it has some deeper scenes
Yeah.
because it's happening during World War II, and
Yeah.
they're playing baseball, women's team, and their
While their
guys.
husbands are all fighting,
Yeah.
and some of them didn't make it.
Yeah, no, that's a really good movie.
It's an excellent movie.
Yeah, yeah. This was a tough one for me because I know what you're going to go with on the next actor. Is Carrie? Is it Elwes?
Eloise, I think.
Elwes?
But
Elwes?
then again, you're asking me.
Yeah, I mean,
I spell my name wrong sometimes.
I went with Robin Hood Men in Tights because I know what you're going to go with. But I love Robin Hood Men in Tights from 1993. The late Richard Lewis played Prince John. You had Roger Rees as Sheriff of Rottingham. Isaac Hayes as a sneeze.
A chew.
No, that was Dave Chappelle.
Oh, okay.
That's a chew.
Yep.
Eric Kramer as Little John. Tracy Ullman as Latrine. The names they came. It's a retelling.
It's a Mel Brooks movie.
Yeah,
and Mel Brooks is
Mel
a
Brooks-
legend.
yeah, he was in it. He was
Yeah.
the prior.
Yeah.
But it's a spoof really on the whole Robin Hood.
The Robin Hood thing.
I laughed my ass off in this movie. It's a great movie. He is actually good at that stuff.
Yeah.
He's really good at that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, 1993. If you haven't seen Men in Tights,
It's one of watch all of Mel Brooks' movies.
Men in Tights.
Yeah. The thing is, Dave, I also thought you were going to go with another movie, and I went with Robin Hood. Men in
Did you?
Tights
Oh,
as well,
so okay. Well,
thinking that you would do a Princess Bride.
Well, that's the other one.
That is the other one.
Great movie.
So good.
Another one of those kind of a serious movie in parts,
Oh yeah,
but with comedy
so much comedy.
and a darker tone to certain parts of it.
So-
What's that? What's his name? How's it? I'm here. You killed my father. Prepared to die.
Inigo Montoya.
Yeah. Yep.
Killed my father.
Yeah, Andre the Giant was in that movie. Yeah, there were a lot
Wasn't he
of
like
people.
Fezzik or something.
Yeah.
Wasn't that his name in it?
Yeah.
And he was Wesley.
See, I thought you would have gone with that.
And she was Princess.
Oh damn! I know it. I can't. What is
Princess
it?
Buttercup.
Yeah, Buttercup. That's right.
I have watched this movie so many times. One year for Christmas, probably like 15 years ago, me and my sister bought it for each other because neither one of us had it. And I was like, Allie, if you've never seen this movie, you have to watch it. She's like, do you have it? I was like, no. So we just bought two of them and just gave them.
No, great movie.
Awesome movie.
An underrated role of his though was Glory.
Yeah, I need to rewatch. I've been wanting to rewatch that, but it's not streamed on anything that I have.
Glory was a good movie, but he was excellent.
Do you have it? Let me borrow it.
Yeah. Next one up is Julia Roberts. I went with Steel Magnolias from 1989, starring Shirley MacLaine, Olivia Dukakis, Dolly Parton, Sally Field, Tom Skerritt. It just follows a group of women in a small town in, I believe it was Louisiana. It's all about their friendship and loss of friends in that movie. Tom Skerritt was a hoot. Juliet Roberts was good. Sally Field is she's excellent in just about everything she does.
She's Mama.
Yeah, yeah. But that's the movie I think of when I think of Julia Roberts.
I think of Hook.
Oh, yeah.
1991,
Yeah.
where she played Tinkerbell.
Yeah. With the late, great Robin Williams.
And Dustin Hoffman, who, how much longer do we have him? Like, he's up there, too.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah, that was
Michael
good.
Caine's up there, too.
Yeah.
We've been talking about him a lot. I've been watching him in a lot of things. And
Yeah. No, Hook was a good movie.
yeah, Hook, if you don't know, is a Steven Spielberg movie, which is an underrated Steven Spielberg movie about a grown-up Peter Pan coming back to Neverland after Captain Hook kidnaps his kids.
Yep.
And it's so good.
And it can be kind of dark in places.
What's his name? Bob Hoskins?
Bob Hoskins.
The late great.
Yeah.
Plays,
that's right, yeah.
Shmee.
He
Was
great.
awesome
Great.
in it.
Yeah.
Dustin Hoffman and Bob Hoskins were awesome
yeah.
as Hook and Shmee in that.
Yeah.
They were perfectly
Yep.
cast.
No, it's an underrated movie.
The Lost Boys were all awesome.
Yeah.
Tinkerbell, played by Julia Roberts, was awesome. And Robin Williams as Peter Pan.
Robin Williams is Robin Williams.
Yeah, Robin Williams. The man was a national treasure.
Yeah. Yeah. Big loss.
Massive loss.
Our next one, I went with a TV series on this one. Paul Giamatti. I went with John Adams from 2008.
It's probably what I would have won.
It follows John Adams from the Boston Tea Party around 1770 all the way through his death on July 4th of 1826. Giamatti was awesome.
He was.
And the miniseries was great. It got into the whole politics. Then, when he's vice president, president, all the behind the scenes crap, being who he was.
Apparently, I've heard that the scene when he first goes over there and he stands before King George was done as accurately as they could do it. Like, what he said was what John Adams really said, and the way that the king just stood there and just didn't say anything was apparently what really happened.
Yeah.
Which is, awesome, if that's true.
And Paul Giamatti has been in a ton of stuff.
So, there is a movie that he's in. I believe it's streaming on Peacock called The Holdovers. I haven't seen it yet, but
Great.
I really want to see it.
Watch it. I watched that last year.
Excellent
movie.
It's like I'm going to watch it within the next 2 weeks. I just watched a trailer for it, and I'm like, that looks awesome. But I went with Sideways, 2004, where he plays Miles. It's him and Thomas Hayden Church is his best friend Jack, and they go into the wine country to have one last hurrah as single guys because Jack, his best friend, just got engaged. And Miles just wants to basically go to different vineyards and try the wine, and Jack wants to have an affair with some woman.
Yeah.
And they just get in all kinds of shenanigans and hijinks, and it's just a fun movie about two guys where things just go wrong on a weekend.
Our next actor, I'm not a big fan of this guy.
Why?
I've never
Why?
really, I don't know.
Who is it,
I mean,
Dave?
it's Casey Affleck.
Okay, that's not who I have next.
Who do you have
But
next?
go ahead, Matt Damon.
Oh, did I forget Matt Damon? I forgot Matt Damon.
You forgot Matt Damon.
I forgot to write it down.
Oh,
Okay, so Matt Damon, if I was going to be Matt Damon, I would go with what I did with Ben Affleck. It's Good Will Hunting. So that's who I'll say with Matt Damon.
well, for Matt Damon, I also went Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
He was
I forgot to write that down. But Matt Damon.
I almost went with the Bourne Identity.
Yeah, but I mean,
And
Good
he was
Will Hunting before, like when their first big break.
yeah.
They were awesome.
And of course, who stole that movie?
Robin Williams.
The late great Rob. His only Oscar.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah.
But he absolutely deserved it.
I forgot to write down. Yeah. So
Matt Damon, Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
I know we've talked about it before. The duck pond scene, one of the greatest monologues ever. All right, Casey Affleck.
Yeah, so
I love Casey.
I'm not a huge fan of
Love
Casey
him.
Affleck, but one movie I did see with him in it that I kind of liked was Gone Baby Gone from 2007 with Ed
I
Harris
haven't
and
seen that
Morgan
yet.
Freeman. Affleck plays Patrick Kenzie, who is a private detective, along with the other detective, Angie Girano, who investigate a missing girl. But there are a lot of little side stories in that, finding the missing girl, and then finding that the parents aren't what they said they are, and their moral dilemma at the end is, yeah, we shouldn't have gave the kid back to the family. A lot of little plot twists.
I
throughout
gotta
the
watch
movie.
that. It's been on my to-watch list for a while. It's just, there's so much shit that comes out. So for Casey Affleck, I originally had written down the assassination of Jesse James, blah, 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 with him and Brad Pitt, which at first time I watched it, didn't think it was that great. Watched it again like 6
good
months
movie.
ago, and I was like, that was better than I remembered.
It's a good movie.
There's a few movies that I've watched now, like The Alamo and The Thin Red Line, that I remember I didn't really like them at first, and I liked them a lot better this time around. So, but I went with an underrated comedy, Drowning Mona.
Drowning Mona, yeah.
2000, where he plays Bobby Calzone.
We discussed that, 2 weeks ago when you did Bette Midler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bette Midler was Mona. It was William Fichtner is in it as Mona's husband. I forget his name. Danny DeVito is in it as the town sheriff. What's her name? Jamie Lee Curtis is in it. It's got a lot of people in it. But Bobby Calzone was probably the main character. And he is who they are trying to pin the murder on. And it's just so good.
I just always think Casey Affleck more of like a
He's in Good Will Hunting too. You could have went there.
like a third and fourth person in the movie. I'm not a big fan of. Never had. there's
He
something
is a
about him.
leading man, though. In my opinion,
Yeah.
he is. He does have that screen presence, that panache.
Yeah, see, I don't see it. And our
Dave, it's
our
'cause,
last actor is
you're
Big
a
Brother.
weirdo.
Big Brother,
Yep.
Ben Affleck.
What'd you go with on this one?
I went with Good Will Hunting
Why?
because it's an awesome movie.
But he's like the fourth or fifth guy in
yeah,
it.
he's what, fourth? But
Maybe fifth.
yeah, but he was awesome. He played Charlie
Yeah,
Sullivan. Charlie Sullivan.
He's in it.
But you had Matt Raymond.
So you went with Matt Raymond.
Matt Raymond.
You went with Good Will Hunting over like The Town or Argo or
Yeah, because that's where they hit their stride.
The Sum of All Fears.
Some of All Fears is okay.
Yeah, it's not that good.
It's okay.
It's got Morgan in it.
The Town is a great movie, but I just thought of Ben Affleck and I think of Good Will Hunting.
I just rewatched The Town too, and again, it's
Town is awesome.
freaking awesome.
But I mean, you got Matt Damon, Robin Williams, Stellan Skarsgård.
Yeah.
It's just a janitor who's Will Hunting, who has genius level IQ, but he has some internal issues. And
Oh yeah, because he was abused.
Yeah, his therapist is Robin Williams. Can you imagine being Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, one of their first big roles, and across from them is sitting Robin Williams?
Yeah, it had to be a surreal experience.
I mean, come on.
And Robin Williams is reading their lines because they wrote it.
Yeah. Yeah. So who'd you do for Ben Affleck?
For Ben Affleck, I went off the board because I figured you were going to go off first. But I went with Dogma.
I almost went with
1999,
Dogma.
where he plays Bartleby. And Matt Damon is also in it as Loki.
Great movie.
They play two fallen angels, and the powers in heaven come down to earth, and they recruit. What was it? The last Zion, who is the last living relative of Jesus Christ, to try and find God, who is also missing. Because if these two angels enter a church in Jersey and then die, it would negate all existence because God said they cannot ever enter heaven. but if they go into this church, it would forgive their sins. And then once they die, because they're no longer angels, they're technically humans, they would go to heaven.
Yeah.
It
Great movie.
is probably Kevin Smith's best, either that or Clerks.
Yeah.
And Kevin Smith has had some great movies. He's
I
had
would put
Clerks.
Dogma over Clerks.
I would probably put Dogma over Clerks too. Mallrats was awesome.
Yeah, but a great comedy.
Yeah,
Dogma.
Bartleby and Loki are awesome. Chris Rock's in it.
Yep.
Alan Rickman, the late great,
That's right, I
is
forgot
awesome.
Alan Rickman's in
Yep,
that,
he's the voice of God.
Yeah.
So awesome.
It's such a good movie.
Jason Smith and I'm sorry, Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes
Yeah.
are in it as Jane, Silent Bob.
Yeah, great movie, by the way.
What's her name? The Hispanic chick.
Salma Hayek?
Yeah, Salma Hayek's in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Dogma was a great movie.
She plays the Muse.
Yep.
Chris Rock was the 13th apostle, and he says that he was left out because he was black.
Yeah.
But like, they don't do it offensively; they do it to be funny.
Because nobody got butthurt.
Because it was still the 90s.
Yeah, nobody gets butthurt over every little word and phrase nowadays. Now you say something and somebody gets butthurt.
Jeez.
Back in the day, you can make fun of this and make fun of that because it was comedy.
Yeah.
Like Jerry Seinfeld came out the other day and went off on Modern
Jerry
Hollywood.
Seinfeld is
I mean, he
like
went off.
he's
on
doing a show with Michael Richards again.
Yeah.
And he says that he really doesn't care because the people that
Yeah.
he said that he made a mistake, and he did.
Yeah.
And what he did was pretty shitty.
But like he said, back in the day, you spit out your humor because you spit it out. But nowadays, it's got to go to you, and then it goes from you to this person, then from this person to this person, and by the time it gets back to you, it's so watered down, it's not even funny anymore. And it's true because everybody's worried about getting butthurt. So that was our list of actors with what we think is their must-see roles. Our next episode is going to be our top 10 Marvel characters, villains or heroes. Do either or. Which I pretty much have a good clue. I'm going to run with that. Got anything to say before we shut it down for the day?
I don't know. Not really. We'll probably be back next week
You don't seem too enthused right
if
now.
they'll have us.
If the world don't come burning down on us or anything.
You never know.
Riots will come here to Ludlow, Vermont. With that being said, I hope everybody has a great day. I hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time for our episode 30, which will be the top 10 Marvel characters. Have a good night.
3-0.
Bye.